Um, Dang, where do I begin? I hope you guys have had an amazing weekend, ready to start the week off. Great, fantastic. You know, um, man, I really missed y'all. I did. I missed y'all quite a bit. I was sitting down. I was like, dang, where's my peoples? What they up to? What they going through? What they dealing with? I wanted to take the time to try and, you know, just get on back here as quickly as possible. To get back to y'all, man, to let y'all know what it is with your boy, you know? We back and we ain't going nowhere. And I know there's some haters out there. It ain't fair. But it's just one of those things. You just can't stop the grind. You have no choice but to respect it, you know? You gonna be doing things out there. I like to save a little bit of my gems for last, but you know, with something like this, there's gonna be people out there that just they ain't got the vision, man. They ain't got the vision. They can't. They can't. See the trajectory that you're trying to ascend towards. Some people just ain't got it. So you gotta take them there. You gotta take them there. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to take you there. Whoa. Now we're there, you know? It's just one of those things. With that being said, one of the things I was able to do this weekend was shout out first of all, before anything else, shout out to that man, Demola. And I know y'all like, yo, who's Demola? The CEO, the new CEO of Red Lobster, literally got Red Lobster out of bankruptcy. Red Lobster ain't going nowhere. And I got to try their new seafood boil. Now, I'll be completely honest. I've had better. I've had better. But with them being able to have something like that on the menu, it definitely changed the game. I will say that. Um, and to be honest with you, I don't know why Red Lobster hasn't had anything like that before. I don't know why we waited so long for something like that. But that had to have been the biggest game changer of Red Lobster's whole entire, I guess, history. Because that right there is, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. I can honestly say, in terms of them trying to renovate things and take things to a whole nother direction, yeah, they definitely did that. That thing was good. I will say that. It was decent. It was decent. Like I said, I've had better. I ain't gonna sit here and say it's the best, but I mean, for the price of what it was and what it all comes with, it was decent. I can't even complain. And them biscuits ain't nothing to play around about. Them things was fire. I could eat some Red Lobster biscuits and solely get that and just dip. Like I don't need nothing else besides them biscuits. If we're being completely honest, for real. So, shout outs to that man. 35 years old, saving the day, literally got them out of bankruptcy. And then this dude is even pushing commercials for them as well. There's a saying that is very, very, I try to live by, and it goes, you you disguise the general by working as hard as the soldier. And this dude is definitely doing that. I mean, like you got him standing in the commercials, doing interviews, all types of stuff. So, shout outs to that man. He's really getting it out the mud. And if y'all haven't tried it, try it. Go give them a try, man. Them seafood boils is definitely decent. It's decent for sure. And you know, I wanted to let y'all know about that because it was actually pretty fire. Not all I did too. I actually even got the chance to go to the movies just recently. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So I've I've been hearing a lot. I was surprised that they came out with another one. I'm gonna be honest. I'm very surprised they came out with another one. I'm not too sure who asked for this per se. I took the time to watch the first one. It was but the second one, this thing had to have been. It felt like a joke. And if you guys are wondering what I'm referring to, it's Megan 2. That I I wasted my money. I think I definitely wasted my money on that one. Um, I was expecting it to be a little. I thought it was going to be a little more menacing, a little more serious, but it felt like an actual comedy. And this is supposed to be some type of horror sci-fi. Definitely sci-fi, yeah, but in terms of horror, no, not even close. I probably sat through the first like 20, 30 minutes. I don't know, something about it, just the tone of it all. Man, I was ready to dip. I was ready to dip. I was like, this could be on a streaming service. Like I wasn't getting theater vibes from it. Felt like they could have sent this straight to the DVD and I would have been completely suffice. I don't know, maybe, it has a little bit of a cult following. I guess it's something that people are just into. White girls and dolls. I mean, I get it. I mean, we do have Annabelle, and they're supposed to be coming out with a new Conjuring soon. So who knows? But yeah, highly disappointed. It wasn't necessarily what I was expecting at all. I thought this thing was going to be a lot more menacing. I thought there was going to be a lot more, just a lot more creepiness. You know what I mean? Like, how can you go wrong with a doll per se? Especially one that's a little bit robotic. I don't know. Just wasn't very disappointing. Very disappointing. I don't even want to say too much about it at this point because it was just a letdown. I watch at your own risk. Watch at your own risk. I will say that. That was literally what I watched before going to Red Lobster because I needed to cheer myself up, and that was the route that I took things to be able to do that for sure. Now, I know recently there's all these new things that's coming out as of late, especially in terms of like entertainment. I was taking a look and I was a little shocked. I can't say that this is something that I've been watching for as long as it's been on, but apparently The Simpsons decided to kill off Marge, the mom. Yeah. So, as a season finale, they decided to kill her off. Very shocking. Wasn't expecting that. I remember they did something kind of similar with Brian and Family Guy, and that was very shocking because he went out pretty bad. Not even like on no joke stuff like that was a pretty heavy episode when he, you know, well, I'll just say when he got completely ran over. Uh, yeah, very, very, it hit me in the heart a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. And especially seeing this one, I seen it all over. It was like Marge is gone. I'm seeing all the dates and I'm like, yo, what? Like, when did The Simpsons get so serious? I've always seen it as being so lighthearted. And out of all the people, the mom, that's why I'm like, ooh, that one kind of hit a little bit. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, not the mom. I feel like out of that whole family, she's the one that really is the glue and the one that has, I would say, the most common sense, although being with someone like Homer. But you know what they say, opposites attract, right? Right. So, very shocked by that. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because for all those, avid Simpson watchers, you know, if you're watching, I mean, that's something for you to look forward to. Uh, really shocking, you know. And I was sitting at work and I don't like to talk about what it is that I do on my everyday, especially when it comes to work. This is supposed to be almost like an escape from having to deal with the common folk. Because I mean, let's be real, it's not many people that is able to do what it is that I'm doing currently right now, and I understand how blessed and amazing I am to be able to have this opportunity to have this one-on-one and to talk to you guys. But there comes a time to where, certain things run across my ears and, I want to be able to jump on here and talk about it. One of those things being, I guess apparently some company came out with a two-person toilet. What the, what is that? What is that? A two-person toilet? Um, I think yeah, that thing right there. Yes, that's a two-person toilet. Now, whether I don't know if it's real. I honestly don't know if it's real. I hope not. I hope not. Because that's a little concerning. I'm not going to lie to you. A two-person toilet, you know? But you know what they say? Those who shit together stay together, you know? But what are you supposed to do? Are we holding each other's hands? You know? Like what is that? What is that? A two-person toilet. And yeah, I was talking to a fellow coworker about that, and this is what she told me. She was like, "Yeah, did you hear about it?" I was like, "No, no, I did not. I I missed out on that news. I missed out on that one. Yeah, that one threw me in the blender. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, that you see, because I understand that with technology, it's meant to be able to further our advancements. But there comes a time to where it's like, all right, well, we will take this one step, but then I feel like at the same time we're taking like five steps back. And with something like that, I just can't really see the usefulness of it. I know me when I'm in the bathroom, it's a very private place. It is what I would consider to be my sanctuary of where I can, release all of my inner thoughts, maybe even, shed a few tears, you know? Um, I remember one time, yeah, and especially for us men, you know what I mean? It's not like we have many, uh, 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 outlets to be able to express ourselves, you know? Uh, so with that being said, it's nice to be able to have that privacy. So being that this is something to have two people to share, the experience of, releasing oneself, very, very unusual, very unusual. Yeah. Without further ado, now, me personally, I've gotten to the point to where I am a bit exhausted, a bit tired of this realm of things, and to dive a little bit deeper as for what it is that I'm, obviously talking about. It's this superhero fatigue. They just came out with Ironheart. In the first season, I know I talked about a little of Moon Knight and how, for the life of me, I could not stay awake for that shit, no matter how hard I tried. And with something like this show is just very quote unquote woke and just not necessary at all. I feel like Marvel has a tendency of just putting whatever out there and just seeing if it's gonna go, seeing if it's gonna, like, you know, at this point I don't even know. I just feel like they just like throwing money at things and seeing if it's gonna crash or burn. And in this case, it's done both. You know, it's just not good. And I do not recommend watching this at all. If you guys are still within that Marvel realm of things, not good, very disappointing, um, unnecessary with all of these TV shows, all of these things that they got going on. And I'll be honest with you, I think some of the best ones, if I had to say, in terms of like the Marvel universe and their TV shows, WandaVision was my favorite. I love that one. Loki, of course, it was fire. And then, if I'm being honest, I think that's really about it. Like in terms of the Marvel universe and a little bit of their TV shows, any other one besides like those, like it's just not good. I would consider She-Hulk to be right up there with Ironheart at this point. I think they need to really start to space things out. Um, and on a note, I was hearing that there's supposed to be a little bit of talks with Jonathan Majors coming back as King the Conqueror. If they are able to do that, I would say that would probably put them in a better spot than what they're in. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, putting Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom is a cop out. It's a cop out. It's a cop out. Like you're playing it safe, and one can even say you're playing it a little too safe. Like in the comics, there is a timeline to where someone like Tony Stark does go down that path, but with the way that the Marvel cinematic universe is, I just don't see the correlation. I just don't. And, with everything that they have going on, especially with their TV shows, I think they need to take a little bit of a break. I think they need to take a little bit of a break. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much to keep up with. It's, and then, you just wonder exactly what's the point of it all. You know what I mean? How does one thing connect to the other? Especially when you have characters that are no longer even talked about, like the Eternals. Like that was one with Angelina Jolie and a few others. It just was its own standalone thing, which kind of ruins exactly the urgency of wanting to see it, because you kind of wonder, where does it exactly lie? Uh, it's just not it. Now, on a brighter note, they do have a few things that is going right for them. Like apparently they're supposed to be re-releasing Spider-Man 2 with the OG, Tobey Maguire, of course. And a part of that re-release, they're supposed to have some hidden footage, that has never been seen before. So hopefully at some, I don't know what that may be or what that may entail. Um, who knows? I'm actually pretty excited to go ahead and see it. I think that was a part of Marvel's golden years, if you ask me, in terms of what it was that they were going for and what it was that things were leading to. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful movie. One of my favorites. I just, like I was saying, with the TV shows, I think they just need to take a little bit of a break, man. It's too much. Too much. No, ain't nobody got time for all that, you know? Um, yeah, I needed to get that off my chest, man, because all too much, they just been throwing all that stuff in your face, man. It's too much, too much. I'm not really here for it. And yeah, uh, somebody did ask me though, if I was to have one superpower though, like, because someone asked me this not too long ago, and I kind of hit them with a little surprise. I'm gonna be honest. If I had a superpower, it would be to be invisible and to be able to stop time. I know you're like, what is this? Why would you? And then on top of that, because this is also one of my favorite movies, um, Jumper, Fire, one of my favorite movies. Um, Teleportation. I want to be able to teleport. I want to be able to go wherever I want. Snap of the fingers. I'm cutting out travel as a whole. I don't want to be able to, take transportation. I just want to be able to make it to where I'm going, cut out all the hassle, take whatever I need with me or don't, like I'm just there. I just got out of my bed. Now I want to go ahead and, walk the beach in Costa Rica before I start my day for work. That's just the lifestyle I'm living, being able to do something like that. Fire, fire. Like, what do you even, like, do you have any worries? And, maybe occasionally jump inside a few bank vaults, you know, sharing is caring, sharing is caring. But yeah, Definitely one of my, you know, dreams, of course. Maybe one day it will be a reality. Who knows? You know, I don't know. I don't know how that. What is going on? What was that? All right. So, one thing I did want to be able to get on into with y'all, and at first, this caught me completely off guard. Like in terms of like just the element of surprise, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I was not looking forward to this at all. They're coming out with a new Street Fighters movie. Now, all my beloved gamers out there, we understand the importance of, you know, a game such as this. And as you know, not gonna, this movie will, of course, go unnamed. When it comes to live action remakes of, let's say, video games, animes, whatever it is for that matter, right? They don't really have that big of a success. I think the biggest success that I've heard about had to have been One Piece, which I'm very surprised. I still can't bring myself to watch it. It's just I just have a very disdain taste for live actions, man. I just think cartoons should stay cartoons, anime should stay animes. With that being said, the thing about this movie that really got me is the fact that why the hell is 50 Cent in this movie? This man, 50 Cent, is in the new Street Fighters. I'm watching it. I'm not going to lie. I have to watch it now. I have to watch this movie. It's 50 Cent. In a Street Fighters movie, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to watch this movie now. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. Um, I'm not too sure as for when the dates will be when this actually ends up dropping, but regardless of the fact, it is getting watched 100%. And yeah, yeah, crazy. Like this is crazy. This dude is just doing side missions at this point, you know. Uh I respect the hustle. You know, like you said, you got to get rich or die trying. So, you know, I feel it. I feel it. I know for a fact they was offering a pretty nice bag, man. And it's good to be able to not be one dimensional. And I think that's where the surprise comes from because of the fact that 50 Cent, of course, has such a serious demeanor towards himself that seeing him in something like this is just so far out there. You know, like I would have never guessed that I would ever be talking about 50 Cent in a Street Fighter movie, like ever. So, yeah, a lot of good things to look forward to. Another thing that I actually wanted to get on into is a new biopic. I love biopics. I think there should be a lot more biopics. This one is going to be featuring Jessica Sula, Nia Long, and Haley Bailey. And I know with that being said, it's like, all right, well, what are all these beloved actresses doing in a biopic? Oh, it's for Michael Jackson. And Haley Bailey will be playing Janet Jackson in this movie. I'm definitely going to watch that as well. That lineup of actresses, especially someone as legendary as Nia Long. Now, we all know the types of classics that she has played in throughout her career. With something like this is really solidifying her spot. I think, honestly, if you ask me, she's someone who definitely is long overdue for any sort of Academy or Global Award, Global Golden Globe Awards, for her performances. I just think in you know, Black culture, she's played such a pinnacle, and in so many different roles, so many different movies. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Back in the day, I even remember times to where, you know, my uncles would be talking about, you know, that should have been my wife. You know what I mean? Especially in the 90s, she was killing the game. Like, you could not tell nobody that Nia Long wasn't the baddest female in all of the 90s. Like, everyone wanted her in a movie. So with that, being said, this is going to be a good one. And I'm actually curious to see who's going to be playing Michael Jackson, or if they're even going to be going over, necessarily more so his life specifically, or more so his upbringing. So I'm not too sure how they're going to go about that. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Very, very good stuff, that they got going on pertaining to it. And then, another thing that I also wanted to be able to get on into is this recent UFC fight. Oh my goodness. You're talking about knockout in the first round? Golly. First, and I'm glad that with what the UFC is doing in terms of keeping things, uh, uh, exciting and fresh, especially with the fact that now Tom Espinal is going to be the new champion. Now that John Jones has retired, I know a lot of people were talking about, oh, he's running away from Tom. He's running away. He doesn't want to fight him. Like, listen, bro, this dude John Jones has been champion for so many damn years. I think he's actually second for holding the title, next to damn, I can't even think of his name right now. I'm quite sure I could put it at the bottom, but yeah, this dude has nothing more to prove. John Jones is a legend. He's always going to be a legend. And he's left and retired gracefully, 100%. So, people are going to talk. There's always going to be someone newer who is bigger and badder. And people are always going to try and, oh, well, are you really the best until you fight this person? Are you really the best until you fight this person? Like, you being the champion says that you don't need to prove the fact that you're a champion when you have the belt. You have the belt. That's not out of you not proving your worth. It's not out of you putting in the time, the effort. Like, come on, what are we talking about? So yeah, definitely wanted to talk about that UFC fight because I was not expecting a first round knockout. Not even gonna lie to you, that man got hands for real, for real. When I see now, I was like, oh, oof. I haven't heard about Sean O'Malley. He was sitting there. He was like, I'm glad he didn't take me up on that fight when he offered, to fight him last year. He was thankful. This dude hit him with a 3-piece and out cold. So, yeah, if y'all, for my fighters out there, man, that like to get on into the UFC realm of things, man, very, very good fight that went on, man. That was a really good one, I must say. Money well spent. So, yeah. And without further ado, I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. It's always a pleasure getting the chance to sit here and to just chop it up with y'all, Now, of course, I want to be able to leave you guys with a little bit of words of wisdom as usual from your boy Klepto Kev. One of the things that somebody was telling me is, how do you get over being able to face your fears when it comes to, all of this content stuff that is being done? So the best way I can actually explain that, because I've been getting a lot of people, they're like, bro, I want to do what you're doing. How are you doing this? Like, and a lot of it comes from, for one, this is a passion of mine. This is something that I'm very serious about being able to do. Another thing is being able to not be afraid of making mistakes. When doing this, you cannot give a damn about what anyone else thinks or has to say to a certain extent. You should always want to be a student, especially when it comes to people who have been doing it longer than you. You always want to be able to take criticism with a grain of salt. And it's all for the sake of being better. So I always tell people, when you're doing this, not every video is going to blow up. Not everything you say is going to be the best. And one of the things that you have to be as well is a bit delusional. You have to be a bit delusional in a sense, because you have to be your own biggest fan. You do. You have to see the gold. And, I'd be lying if I said that, there wasn't things out there that, I wish would pop off, or things out there that I would wish would be bigger than what it is. But it's just one of those things. The biggest key is consistency. Once you start, don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. And as long as you're doing that, you can't go wrong. You can never go wrong. It's just one of those things where you're crazy, you're cringy, you're weird, you're strange, you're all these things until it works. And then you're a genius. And then you're someone who's been the person everyone's always believed in. You're that person that someone knew you had it in you to be able to do. So never give up. Keep striving, keep prospering. And with that, it's your boy Klepto Kev, back at it again. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July. And I'll catch you on the next one.
Yo. 7, look. Anything lasts once, last gets. Black God, how they gonna blackball the blacksmith? Hacksaw, dug in at the gym, begin flex small. Platform, humbly begin, but now we're at war. So fuck you, specifically them, the rest of us cool. They shot flew and it clanked off the rim, so now it's our move. Legend, ledger, how you gauge success is not how legends measure. Let them tell it, you were never ready. Now look at you, ready. High beam, on a highway, at a high speed. High premium for high grade. But we the high chief, so high hater. Heard you was pissed off, let me hydrate you. Higher mighty turn high Taylor, seem the most high's favorite. Cause if I pull my gun, I am gonna shoot. And if I